Hey guys, so with many of you doing Plath and Hughes for Module A, I thought I'd just give you a bit of a pointer in terms of how to construct an argument that's going to really help you address all of the types of questions you're going to get. So I think this module can be quite overwhelming because there's like all these different poems and all these combinations you can do. And, you know, there is a slight chance that they could specify. So you do need to make sure that you understand all of the poems and how you would use those if Nessa does specify. But in reference to having a particular approach or a central idea, one of the things you may have heard is that you don't want to focus too much on the relationship as the core idea that you're talking about. So obviously the tumultuous relationship that comes across between Plath and Hughes, that's certainly what you're going to be using as an example for your ideas. But the key idea you want to focus on in your essay here is looking at the human experience of truth and perspectives, and the fact that ultimately there is no fixed truth, there is no fixed meaning, and really everything we experience and see, it's all subjective. It's all shaped by our own personal views and experiences, and there's always just going to be an inherent level of subjectivity and bias. So what we can see through comparing or having a textual conversation happening between Plath's poetry and Hughes's poetry, where oftentimes they're talking about exactly the same thing, and even obviously using similar motifs and again, topic areas and so forth, we can just really see a very distinct difference between their own personal experiences of the relationship that and the situations that they are describing. And look, in no way can we kind of say that one's true or false, really. We can certainly look at maybe there being some unreliability, or there are questions raised. So for example, maybe there are questions raised about the fact that Hughes may be sort of skewing the perception in his favor in order to kind of defend himself from the critics that emerged after Plath's suicide, very much to blame him for that. But look, I mean, in his experience, like, he did obviously feel like he was a victim in some way. I mean, that's what he wrote about. And we can't really necessarily question that. All we can do is see that they both viewed things very differently, very, very differently. And that's the nature of life. That's the nature of human relationships and human experiences. So what you'll find is, if you can have this core idea as the basis of your essay response and your analysis between whatever pairing of poems you choose to do, you will be very well equipped to answer whatever questions are given to you, because that's where they're sourced from. Obviously, they'll be using words like recycled and reimagined and so on from the rubric, but it's all about bringing it back to the purpose of looking at core human relationships and how perspectives are created, and also how language is used to reveal those perspectives, and to shape meaning and shape your understanding of how there are these there's this fluidity of what happens and what our experiences are. So see how you go in terms of focusing on that, and if you have that as a core focus and you start practicing questions, you will find it a lot easier to manage your material and have a really good answer to all of the questions that are given using the material that you prepared.